Well, you touched on the whole gay rumor thing. And there was a video where you were online and it somehow kind of cut to a scene of a man. There was a man sleeping in bed and then it cut back. And I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense to me at all. So maybe you could explain that video and kind of clear it all up.
So if you've been a fan of Kevin Samuels' show for any length of time, I'm sure you are familiar with the detractors calling the man gay. Same women that got the gay hairstylists and the gay best friends and everything else, they're the first detractors because of certain things that they perceive about him with no actual proof, with no, this dude kissed a man, you seen a video, you seen this, you seen that. No proof of anything, but then they get on people for, you know, gay bashing and saying things like that are derogatory and, you know, it's like this double standard, but that's what they use to disparage because they dislike him and his message.
Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to just say, I said this the other day, and what problem do these people have with somebody being gay? I mean, I've said it last night, the LGBTQ community, y'all are on the clock because the sheer amount of gay bashing, gay innuendos, gay slurs, hate speech against gays, why is that allowed to persist? Why is that allowed to persist against me? If you want to say that I'm gay, then is that not a protected group? So the people who keep saying these things, I'm asking, where's the LGBTQ community in this whole thing? Or is it okay when it's a heterosexual man and it's being used as a gay slur? So you can't have it both ways.
Guys with a strong message in popular media, if they get popular enough, start ruffling feathers, they're gonna start throwing out the gay rumors. It's just a part of the smear campaign process. That's what they talk about later on in the interview. Vlad's like, hey man, I have my own gay rumors. It's kind of part of the game. And it's just like, that's unacceptable. Like, what are you talking about?
They did the same thing to Kwame Brown yesterday. Kwame Brown was liked by certain people, but then all of a sudden something didn't happen the way they wanted to, and all of a sudden start throwing gay stuff at him. This happens too often to black men. The destruction of the black male image because you're saying something that they don't like. We're going to minimize you. We're going to disparage you. We're going to discredit you. We're going to try to humiliate you, and we're going to try to humiliate you by calling you gay.
Now let's address the elephant in the room, because it is true that as a straight heterosexual black male, it is very embarrassing, for lack of a better term, to be perceived in that way by your peer group. If we're being honest here, not to say there's anything, you know, I ain't got nothing against nobody who is, but you know, that's a way that, you know, when we were kids back in the day, it's kind of like you would roast each other up, say that about each other. I know the culture's changed now and, you know, people are a little bit more enlightened, but if we're being honest, that's how it was. So coming up in the generation, my generation, especially his generation before, you know, I'm sure it was probably even more so that way. So you know what you're doing, but you just don't like the arguments. If you can't argue against the arguments, then just say that. Don't try to throw everything at them, including the kitchen sink, to try to smear them. Just say, hey, I don't like your argument. I don't have an argument against it because it's factually correct, but I just don't like it. But you gonna say you're gay and, you know, you didn't used to have money. And like, that man never said he's always been rich. You know what I mean? Like, y'all are just crazy.
I've addressed this countless times, but then you can have a show where I have a Zoom line where you can click on Zoom, and if you've ever been on a Zoom call, when someone pops up, their photo is there. And people can switch their photos and things like that. But I also use another software to where their photo comes up in there in the green room. Their photo, like what I'm looking at, is kind of grayed out. And if you're running a show, if you click the wrong button, something can come up. That person's photo can be there, and that person's picture can be there. That was a person that was in a call queue. Now, was that the actual person who had fallen asleep? I don't know. Was that a photo that person put up? I don't know. But I talked about this thing in show, real time. They always hang around the cool kids. I tried to tell him I'm not gonna marry your mama and I'm not gonna be your stepdaddy, so stop coming around, but he just don't know no better. Bless his heart. Baby Yoda. Anywho, what you got for me? How old are you? By the way, 44. So you know, remember them kids. See, boys like that used to put them in, we put them in the special ed class when we were coming up. We can't use the words we used to use. But anyway. That person had gone from trolling me on one platform to where a woman was even like, who is that person? I was like, don't worry about him. He calls all the time. I announced that. It's still up now. She's like, well, I didn't know what to do. I was like, just don't pay him any attention. And I talked about it. Then as I get on to the next part, this person comes up and I'm like, oh, this person's back again. And when I clicked it off, I think nothing of it. I wake up and it's everywhere. purposely, deliberately taken out of context.
You ever been having an argument with your girl and she'll just go all around the world trying to win the argument on like some kind of weird technicality? Or you ever just had an argument with somebody or debate with somebody in general and they'll try to divert, they'll try to, shame, guilt, insult, need to be right, anything but directly dispute the point. That's exactly what's going on right here. So they get the slightest inkling of something that could be taken the wrong way and they just twist it all around to fit their narrative because that's what they wanted to be the whole time.
To perpetuate a narrative, to smear a black man with being gay. So what I'm going to say is this: where's the LGBT community in this? Because it's up there for anybody who wants to see it. And are we actually saying that the funny thing is, Vlad, if people really thought I was gay, they wouldn't be coming at me like this because they'd have to deal with that very LGBT community. They'd have to deal with that community. So by the fact that they're coming after me this way, they know they don't think that. But you can't play both ways.
But like we've established in previous episodes, there are no longer any rules. Only we as men have rules. Only we as straight black men have rules. Straight men in general, we have the rules. We can't be abrasive to anybody. We can't do any of that. Our women, they could just do whatever. When it's convenient, I call it the conveniently woke syndrome. You be woke when it's convenient. But if you want to shame somebody or if you want to try to tear somebody down, then you can go to any lengths possible.
I've had gay rumors. I almost feel like that's a sign of making it. Like, you haven't really made it unless someone comes out and claims that you're gay.
Well,
it just is what it is.
When you actually have people with platforms, media outlets, blog sites running with a story like this was mentioned on a popular morning show. Who heard him? Does he like men or like women? So we played like this with people's brand and sexuality for what? All of this because I'm saying truths that men agree with. And you may not like my point of view, but to sit there and do the very thing you're saying that I should not do is hypocritical.
Well, yeah. And it starts a whole narrative of, well, he bashes women because he's secretly gay and he's in the closet and he hates women and so forth. And then these things start to kind of create a conspiracy theory of their own. And it just is what it is. It's just a part of being a public figure.
Bro, that's nothing that should ever be accepted as part of being a public figure. If people want to, if people have to be trying not to cuss on this YouTube channel, I get demonetized so much. If people want to smear you and say something about you that's untrue, that should be never anything that you accept. Never. At any point, never, never, never. No. Hell no.
If you care about women so much, then what about my black mother? What about my black daughter who has to hear this stuff all the time? That's why I think why Brother Brown, Kwame Brown, was so big. He's like, enough of this crap. You can't keep bashing somebody for having consensual conversations. My conversations happen live, real time, unedited, with consenting adults in the view of the public. Nothing's hid, nothing's edited. So if you have a problem with it, stop watching. But what you're trying to do is basically say, I don't like what you're doing. Then vote with your eyeballs, go somewhere else. But who made you God? Who made you? Who said you get to choose what people find entertaining, where they get their value? Or is it that you really just want them where you are? You have to have your sources. And here's the thing, what they have not been able to come out and do is substantiating this stuff. I've talked about it over and over and over again to the point to now where I've said it. The LGBT community, y'all on the clock because you see what's happening. And if you've had to deal with it, well, if they can defend people who are in their community, if people are trying to say Vlad is gay, well, then shouldn't they be defending you too? Because I guess Vlad, if you say people have said that about you, maybe you were in the closet or something like that. Do you not deserve to be protected just as much?
I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was hella funny when he said that. He said, hey, bro, hey, listen, maybe that's your thing. And if that's the case, shouldn't you be protected by that group as well? He does make a good point, but the way it came off at first was kind of funny. Like, he kind of calling Vlad out a little bit like, man, don't try to put this on me. I'm going to put it on you, bro. Like, listen, you might be cool with that, but I'm not cool with people trying to smear my name with incorrect things about me. It was like, that might be good for you, but hey, bro, I'm just saying. Hey, that's all you, buddy. Got Hollywood crowd. That's all you.
You see what we're talking about? It only goes one way. It only goes one way against heterosexual men.
And I think Vlad is low-key a G, too, because he had this dude, like, I think the rapper's name Gonzo or something like that. I never heard of the dude. He had a fight with a Bosco 100 that was on Snoop Dogg's network, boxing network, Triller. But anyway, he had the dude in the seat, and dude used to talk big trash about Vlad. He was like, yeah, so you said I was a culture. You said I was a culture vulture. You said this about me. You said that about me. The dude looked like he was kind of squirming like a little dirt. Yeah, you know, bro, that was a pass. And woo woo. He's like, oh, I'm just saying, you said it. Like he be like nice guy grilling people. I'm like, damn, is this dude a thug or does he just got hella security in the building ready to do anything he says? Or, you know what I mean? Like, Vlad is funny. That's the end of part 3. Kevin Samuel Savage Moments. I know I ain't entitled it that, but you know, it's been a video series doing part by part, kind of reacting to different parts of the full interview. But go check out the full interview. I got the link in the description. I'm gonna put the link down below on the first comment pinned to the top as well. You gotta be a member on the channel over there to see it. For me, it was like worth it because, you know, I wanted to see the interview, see what they was talking about, get the early scoop. So go check it out. Sani Bravo, Action Over Talk. I'm gonna holler at y'all next time. Go check out the other videos, man. Subscribe, do all the stuff. Subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think, man. Holler at y'all next time, man. 100.